Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Nonito
Without further ado, we are bringing in Mr. Dave Bautista.
Come on, look at my blind ass. You want to look at this computer? Man, I swear. I'm so tech ignorant, and I took off my glasses because all I can see is my computer screen.
There you go. So you were like that?
No, I'm tech ignorant and I'm blind. Like some old dude trying to figure this out.
Oh my God, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
Long time no see.
Yeah.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah, it was the last time we were together. Were we?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Chain
That's right.
smokers. Yep.
Yeah, taking shots with chain smokers.
Yep. That was the last time.
Yeah.
That was the last time. And then this craziness of COVID kind of kicked us all out, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, how you guys been dealing?
Vegas is open. You know,
Yeah.
Vegas, and I know Florida is open.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the same boat. Like Vegas shut down like briefly, right? Florida didn't. We didn't shut down. We did not shut down.
No, you guys were like, no, COVID doesn't exist.
No, I'm lucky. I'm in Tampa. You know, we have a really good mayor. We were kind of doing our own thing, but being very responsible. But Florida was like cases kept growing. People just kept on moving along, just plugging along, pretending like it didn't exist, and wasn't good. But anyway, let's talk about happy shit.
I'm happy seeing you, man.
Yeah.
I love you guys, man. I don't know if people know our history, but you guys are family. We're all family, and I love you guys. I'm so happy that you guys are back on top, and you deserve it, dude. I watched a couple of fights of yours. Were hard for me to watch, man. I was like, the last one I went to in Vegas, it's going a while back, but it was like, I know you won that fucking fight. I know you won that fight.
I'm definitely better now, though.
Yeah.
Man.
So anyway, I don't want to talk about that, but there's a couple of fights that were like, man, you had those fights, man. It was hard for me they didn't sit well with me. So I'm glad to see you on top is my point.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm having a little drink.
That's
No
all right.
worries. What is it? What kind of drink?
Man, let me tell you, I'm about to change your life. So I've discovered this Devil's River coffee bourbon. It's about the best thing in the world.
Oh wow.
It's so good. It's so good.
Coffee bourbon.
Coffee bourbon.
But it's coffee though, and it's bourbon. But Jack bourbon coffee.
Is it
But you gotta make it like a coffee. But then there's Jack in it, supposedly.
This is just
okay.
The bottle says coffee bourbon, so I'm calling it coffee bourbon. It's They sent me a bunch of stuff, and I was like tasting all of it, and I got on this one. I was like, man, me and my dudes finished a bottle. It was just a couple of us were like,
It goes down pretty smooth.
very smooth, very. Now everybody's gonna think I'm just like this lush that sits around. I hardly ever drink. You guys know that, but yeah. So except during COVID, the whole year I was just sitting at home.
I don't remember if you drank when we went to Access.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not a big drinker. When we go out, I might, socialize. But you know me. I do more dancing than I do drinking. I'm about that vibe. I want to be like.
That's it.
I can't do that with a drink in my hand.
I was on the bench, and Dave was still taller than me, and I was just like,
You're Filipino, man. You know how we do.
I know. We love the music, baby.
So, one of the questions people have been asking is like between WWE and acting, which one would you have to pick if you had to pick one?
Well, I mean, if you ask me that right now, it would be acting. If you ask me that, 15 years ago, it would be wrestling. I had no interest in acting at all. But now I'm completely consumed with it. I just love it. I do miss wrestling. I miss it. Like, I can't even tell you how much I miss it. But, it just, that ran its course for me, and I loved it, and I miss it every day. But, we grow up. I shouldn't say we grow up. We grow older. and we move on. And I left those things behind. I'm no young man anymore. I really and I don't miss that kind of environment working for the company in particular. But what I do miss is performing to a live audience. I miss that type of excitement, that electricity, that like camp. You know what I'm talking about, like that.
Yeah.
The thunder of a live audience can't be replaced with anything else ever in your life. So I do miss that. It's like a crack. It's like a addictive. It's something.
I miss it so much.
If you think about it, most people in the world never know that feeling of having 100,000 people like screaming, losing their minds over them, like watching them perform or watching them compete. That's it's a special thing. It's it's kind of reserved for athletes and rock stars, and so I consider myself very fortunate to have experienced that. But again, that was a time in my life, and now I've moved on to another time of my life and doing other things, and I'm passionate about what I do. But I do miss wrestling. But right now, sorry, this is a very long answer to a short question. But
no, you're great. The
answer is acting. The answer is acting. I love acting, and it's just what it was my next progression in life, and I don't feel like I've taken a step down. I feel like I've progressed as a human being, and this is kind of, I'm relishing every moment of this. I love this, like acting, and I love this business of filmmaking. Love it.
Well, so there was a question here. Do you feel like wrestling, WWE, prepared you for acting at all?
It's weird. It didn't prepare me for like the performance in any way, because they're just so different. But what it did prepare me for, like, if you can get through, a career, a life in the WWE, especially if you're really at the top of that totem pole where you're just representing the company and you're just grinding, like you just give up your personal life and you're just working. Like if you can live through that grind, you can live through anything. Like anything else is cake. So when people like, don't let me hear somebody bitching on a movie set. if I hear an actor like bitching on a movie set, I'm automatically irritated, because for one, like, everybody shows up before the actors do. Everybody leaves after the actors, are done. And so it's like we get catered to. It's all we really have to do is be there and perform. So I don't want to hear that. So it's not hard work. Acting is not hard work. It's long hours, and sometimes it drains you, like emotionally, depending on what the day looks like. And some films are just deeper than others. But it's not like a grueling, grinding lifestyle like you go through as an athlete, as you go through as a WWE superstar. I mean, that's a real grind, where it's not only grinding on you physically, but it's grinding on you mentally, and you're paying a toll emotionally as well. Even, a lot of times especially when you're an athlete or, sports entertainer, you give up everything else. I mean, you have to, you're forced to, because it takes that much dedication and that much focus. And most people in the world, that's why, like Rachel, she gets it. Like, I've been through numerous wives, and there's a reason for it, because they just could never get it. They could never get that was my career, and I had tunnel vision, and I wasn't giving that up for anybody, because it was my shot. It was my dream. So when I'm in, I'm like all in. And so if somebody doesn't understand that you're all in and they need to be all in with you, then you tend to grow apart. So you guys have managed to stay together because you guys get each other. You guys know what you're doing. You both have the same mission. And
she kicks my butt too, so that's one of them. She'll kick my butt, so I gotta
that too. Like you better have tunnel vision. You better not be
exactly tunnel vision. This boom, that's one reason. No, she really gets it, and that's the beauty of it, is that she really gets it, and she actually pushes me, because like for me, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to ask, Dave, because I don't want to feel like I'm bothering him. So I'm like, no, but it's good for you and stuff like that. And I'm like, you gotta grow some balls. I'm like, hey, bro, what you doing?
No, man, I love hearing from you guys. I'm just, I'm guilty of losing contact with people, but it's really because like I said, I get really focused, and it's the only way I can kind of manage things, because sometimes it's exhausting, and you kind of go away and you leave everything behind that you love. And sometimes you have to cut yourself off in order to kind of stay afloat emotionally and mentally, because it's not easy. Like, it's not easy leaving home for 4 or 5 months. You leave behind everything you love, mean, that's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to be in a foreign country by yourself with no one else. You know, you're going home to an empty hotel room every night. It's like, that's not an easy thing to do. It'll suck the soul out of you. But so sometimes you kind of shut down and you just remove yourself, you know, you kind of go into work mode, or I call it work mode or robot mode. And you're just really there. You're functioning there, do the job. You do your job. You go back, get some, you know, you sleep and kind of have fun when you can. But it's one of those things where you really have to sacrifice. And so I've sacrificed a lot throughout the years, but it's only because I just wanted to make something out of myself.
Well, what I loved was when you invited us to the premiere of the first Guardians of the Galaxy, right? And everyone, it wasn't so known yet. And then when Guardians of the Galaxy exploded, I remember the next premiere we went to.
Oh, it was.
We were getting shoved left and right.
Crazy.
And we were just so proud of you because after that, like, you've gotten into so many movies. You've gotten your nose broken by Daniel Craig. What happened?
I read about that.
How did you not see that coming? And
come on, man, I
did see it coming. It's just that, you know, it's one of those things you knew. It's a choreographed thing. And, you know, I just, you know how it is. I mean, you're choreographing something. You trust that, you know, he's going to be there. It's going to be in the right place. And it just, you know, it's one of those things. Shit happens, and it wasn't in the right place. It was on my nose. It was on my nose and not in the air. Daniel's got a hell of a left hook too, man. Daniel's an athlete. Like, it came hard and it came fast. It was like this big looping left hook, man. He caught me right in my nose. He did, man. But it's just one of those things. What's funny is he freaked out. Like, he's not used to like punching somebody in the nose on set. But I'm so used to it. Like, in wrestling, that's, we got to pay a lot of money to beat the shit out of each other. And so it just like, it didn't faze me at all. Like, he was like, "Oh my God, I broke his nose. I broke his nose. I broke his nose." I was like, "No, it's all right, man. It's all right." I just started cleaning up. I changed my skin. I put some toilet paper. I was like, "I'm all right. I'm all right, man. Let's do this."
You didn't start running?
No. He said he did, but he didn't. He was like, he felt horrible. Like, he started screaming, "Oh my God, I broke his nose." It was. I felt like he was so traumatized by it that I felt bad for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no.
What was your favorite movie to film? Like the one that you just had an amazing time, you didn't want to stop filming it.
Oh man. Well, definitely wasn't any of the Marvel films. And it's not because I had a miserable time on those. It's just like that makeup is it's miserable.
Do they do like really head to toe everything?
No, I mean, thank God they don't. They cut it off at the waist. But it's not only like the putting the makeup on, but just, I mean, it really eats away at your skin. But also at the end of the night, I have to sit in a sauna every night for them to get it off, because the makeup is so abrasive that they have to start to melt it off before they start peeling it off with chemicals. Because if they just start peeling it off, they don't have me start sweating it off. It's just so abrasive, it'll rip my skin off. It's like glue.
Oh my goodness.
I sit in a sauna like 45 minutes, to an hour, like every night. This is after like a 13, 14-hour day at work. So you know what it is. You're trying to cut weight. You sit in a sauna.
It's cutting weight.
Yeah, because everybody always says, "Oh, you sit in a sauna. That's great. That sounds so relaxing." I was like, shit's relaxing for like 10, 15 minutes. But like for 45 minutes at the end of a long work day, every night after night, it's not relaxing. It's fucking torture. Yeah, I'm cutting weight every night, and I'm going home dehydrated, and I'm waking up trying to hydrate.
So you're saying that, okay, how long was the makeup process for Drax?
Well, for the first Guardians, it was about 5 hours. It was typically 3.5 to 5 hours. There were days where it was like 6 hours. On the second Guardians, it was only like an hour and a half. And then it got down to, on the Avengers films, and it was about an hour 10 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, they got it down.
And then you also have to tape for another X amount of hours, right?
Yeah, then you go to work. Then you start work. Yeah.
And then you have to sit in the sauna to take off the makeup that you're about to put on like 6 hours later again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I don't like I love everybody there. I am always grateful for the opportunity that Drax gave me. But I just, I'm just winded up, man. I just the makeup process, I'm too old. I'm too irritable. I don't have the thick skin I used to. I was so, when I was younger, and that was my first big break. Like I would have done anything to get that break, man. I would have done anything. I would have died in that damn makeup to get that break. I was so desperate. But now I'm like, let's wrap this up.
No, but you're doing amazing, man. I'm so proud. you reached, I mean, you've talked about this, you know, even after when we went to Ohio for your wrestling match.
Right.
I think it was Ohio, and there was a little snow here and there, and then we almost got into a fight in the restaurant because someone was being an a-hole, you know. So you know, and
I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that.
The worst group of guys to pick a fight with.
I can't even remember. The dude was just being the biggest dick too. We were just like, and then we were trying to be nice to him after he was being a dick. And then we got to the point where I was like, well, if you're gonna be a dick, then fuck you then. I mean,
exactly. And I'm just like, oh man, I gotta put my gloves on. I got my gloves, my Tumbler gloves with me. I'm ready to go, you know.
So,
but yeah, man, you're doing well. And I remember we were just talking about you, you know, looking at possibilities at that time, and here we are. All the possibilities that you've even talked about during that time has come into fruition. I mean, that's just amazing, because at that time we were just you know, an idea and a possibility, and you were like hoping, you know, you were talking about, man, I hope I can get this part, I hope I can get that part. And now you've gotten all of that, man. I'm so proud of you, bro, because just that conversation that we have, all the things that you said, we've done it.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I was thinking back to, I hadn't really thought about even that first Guardians premiere, because I was still broke at that point. I had, you know, because Guardians, what kind of relaunched me was I was able to make a comeback off of the first Guardians. But even till after the first movie opened up, I mean, I wasn't getting calls because nobody knew yet. They hadn't seen Guardians, so it hadn't opened any doors. But I mean, I remember going to that premiere, and I like had this embarrassing suit that didn't fit me right. I was like the worst dressed guy, because I was still struggling for money. I didn't even I didn't have enough money.
We got Brent here saying what's up, watching us, by the way. The Wagner's Outdoors. That's Brent right there saying hello.
Ooh. With the baby. Is that
the baby looks like the baby on the back.
Yeah, baby. So he wanted to say what's up.
Because he was there the night that you guys were about to get in a fight too.
Yeah, he was there. I remember it was me and Brett who came to Ohio with that, you know, to watch all this stuff with you, you know, and I remember that time we were just
And that was right after Guardians came out, because that's when I got Guardians. I finished shooting Guardians. That was when I felt like it was safe to go back to WWE. I felt like I proved what I set out to prove. I could leave the company. I could make it on my own. And after that, I was like, man, I really miss wrestling. I want to go back and wrestle. And that whole run, it was only like 3 or 4 months, but God, it was a nightmare. It was so bad. So, but I learned my lesson on that run, and got to go back in 2019 and kind of go out the way I wanted to, the way I always wanted to. A bit late, but still, I mean, better late than never.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
If you were to play, who would be your dream character that you would want to play?
I still want to play. I really want to play Bane. You know, I know it sounds crazy like that. I want to step into like another comic book character, but there's just something about that character that I feel like I could do it justice. And it's just like one of those characters I always thought it was really cool, because he's not only super, like he's just a large human being, he's super imposing, but he's also like crazy, freaky, intelligent as well. And I always liked that. I always thought, you know, if you get a character like that, because you always typically get one or the other. You get a character that's seriously like big and imposing, but he's always just growling at everyone. Or you get that character who's not that big, not physically imposing, but he's super intelligent. But if you get a character that's like both, I mean, that's really terrifying to me, because I think it's scarier when someone is physically big and imposing, intimidating, but they speak soft. They speak with, you know, they speak with their mind. You can always tell that something diabolical is going on, you know, behind those eyes. And I like that. I like playing scary characters like that, you know.
Yeah. You know, there was a part in the zombie movie that you were into the dramatic scene. You know, the dramatic scene with the tears. How did that feel?
That's my shit, man.
There you go. It's just be like, look at the camera and just like.
I swear to God, like I like dramatic stuff. This is why I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to dive into that. But just, you know, like roles, you know, roles to play, or dramatic roles are just not easy to come by for a guy like myself. I mean, I look, you know, I understand the way I look. I look like, you know, I'm big. I look like a meathead. I look like I just broke out of prison. So, you know, nobody wants me to play like this, you know, seriously dramatic role, because sometimes when you're physically when you're a large person, it's just distracting. Like I even look at my cell phone film sometime next to other actors who are kind of like normal sized people. And it just looks distracting how big I am. So they don't want, I don't get cast in those roles, those emotional roles a lot. But I swear, like, this is why I fell in love with acting. Like, I want those roles. I want the dramatic shit. Because nobody expects to see a, big meathead in those types of roles. And I kind of want to break down that wall, I want to break down that stereotype that, big muscle heads can't be, dramatic actors. So that's kind of my mission, keep searching for those roles.
But you don't have to be seen. All you have to do is just remain extremely still. Didn't you master that art?
Not you two. Not you two. Oh. That's like it's like the best thing that's ever happened to me, but also like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Because I love that stuck in people's heads. I love that I was able to like steal that scene. And I have those memorable lines, those memorable scenes, especially when you're surrounded by like wall-to-wall A-listers. And if you can steal a scene, then you're doing all right. But at the same time, like I get my lines, Drax lines repeated back to me all the time. All the time.
What was the other one we saw in the comments? Why Gamora?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. And that was funny because that was my own fault. That was my own doing it because that was like an improv line that just kind of stuck and everybody started laughing. But actually it was because there was no line there. And Chris Pratt said, there needs to be a line there. Drax needs to have a line. And I just started shouting shit out. And that's the one that kind of stuck.
It worked perfectly.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that you were a breakdancer before going to WWE.
Yeah. There's no rumor. That's fucking fact. That's a fact.
There you go.
Putting it to a headstand spin?
Like, boom, 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 boom. And then Dave's going like this and stuff.
But I was really young. I grew up on the streets. Everybody on the streets was breakdancing. If you weren't fighting, you were breakdancing. So yeah, definitely. But this is like, I was 13, 14. I actually, my mom, I brought my mom to a show and she was talking to Vince McMahon. And she was telling him that when I was a breakdancer, and Vince goes, "Oh, really?" He gets like all excited about it. And so he comes up with this crazy idea that he's going to have me breakdancing in the SummerSlam commercial. And I thought that he was totally fucking with me. Like I thought he was fucking. It was like a big joke and it was a big rib and they were going to have me do something. And I swear to God, I get there and they got this whole thing set up at one of the old boxing arenas in LA where they got it looking like it's the Olympics. And I swear to God, man, they hand me this piece of cardboard and a radio. And they're like, well, we want you to go out and throw the cardboard down and start breakdancing. I was like, wow, fucking 300 pounds now. This was like when I was 14, when I was 160 pounds. And for some reason, Vince had in his head that I could still breakdance. But that's my mom. That's my mom being my biggest fan.
Of course.
There was a story we were talking about when you were younger and some guys would bully you and stuff like that, and you'd come home and your mom would tell you. I mean, can you tell that story? I love that story.
I'm coming home. Yeah, my mom would lock me out. She's like, no, she's like, go out there and fight them. She would make me go out and fight people because she said if I didn't go out and fight bullies, they were going to keep bullying me. So even if I got my ass whipped, she's like, go out, get your ass whipped. Go out, and because every day if you go out there and fight them, they're going to get bored. They're going to stop wanting to fight you because you actually fight back. So my mom would like make me go out and fight people, and I swear to God, there was one time in San Francisco, and there was this kid I was terrified of. He was like this big Mexican kid, and he was constantly fucking with me. And he had come over from another neighborhood looking for me. And so I fucking ran home, and my sister came home and told my mom what was happening. Like this kid was waiting for me, and I was afraid. My mom made me leave the house, go down to fight this kid. But I swear to God, I walked down to the kid. And I think I must have been like 10 or 11 years old. I walked down to the kid and I goes, my mom said I had to fight you. And I just started trying to fight this kid. He beat the shit out of me. But I went home and my mom was, but my mom was always, she was always trying to do, she wasn't trying to shelter me because she knew I needed to survive in this. I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have that. I didn't have a big brother or anything like that. So she was always just trying to toughen me up because I was always kind of a shy kid. I was a shy, sensitive kid. And my mom, so she was constantly trying to be, my father figure, kind of, the disciplinarian, kind of make sure that I was not too sensitive, that I would never be victimized. So she did things like that, and it worked, it worked. And there's still that soft, sensitive side of me too. But I was also like, I don't have an issue with being physical. I'm not afraid of confrontation. I don't want it, but I don't have an issue with it,
So even the big Dave Bautista gets bullied growing up, huh?
Yeah. Probably everybody. I'm sure everybody has their issues. It just seems like a part of life. It's just learning how to deal with it. Even my son, I always tell my son, certain things are the way to, deal with people. He's always kind of a target too, because some people know that I'm his dad, and either people, three things. One, people are just going to treat him like a regular kid. They don't care. Then you're going to have kids who are going to treat him differently, be nice to him because I'm his dad. And then you have kids who are going to be assholes to him because they're, jealous of him because I'm his dad. So he's got a lot to deal with when he's young. But so we're constantly having those conversations now because he'll be 14 this week. So those are kind of talks we're all having. But he knows he's also a sensitive kid too. He doesn't want to fight, but he will. He's so.
And that's something that growing up, I was also suffered a lot of that stuff, and that's why I always fought and a big advocate for anti-bullying, because everybody suffers through that, and there's so many numerous things that we go through, and we hear about other kids and just all this other stuff, and that's why I wanted to emphasize that change, that people can change and things can change along the line, that you were bullied and then you become something. And there is a lot of hope beyond that. And I just wanted to kind of put that out there that, hey man, life is a constant change, and you may be bullied at this time, but in the future you might become like Dave Bautista,
I think it's also like it's hard, it's hard too when you're a kid, because when people, it's so easy to believe negative stuff, people say mean things to you. It's much easier to buy into that. Even as an older person, like I still like the negative stuff. Like people say, give me compliments and stuff. I'm appreciative, but it doesn't, like you say something negative to me and it just stings more. It just gets in there more. And it's just part of human nature, I guess. So I think that's it with kids. It's like when they're getting bullied because it makes them feel a certain way, it makes them feel inferior. And it's just important that they understand that they're not. And the people that are trying to make them feel that way, they're the issue. They're the ones dealing with the insecurities. They're the ones that are inferior people, which is why all they can do is try to make themselves feel better by picking on smaller kids. Kids don't want to fight. Kids who are smaller or weaker or just don't want confrontation. So that's the way they make themselves feel better. But they're really, they're insecure. They're losers. I have no patience for bullies. I have no love for bullies. I have no love for bigots. I have no love for people, for racists. I just don't, no patience for it. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Speaking of race, everyone sees that you have the Filipino tattoos. They want to hear you say something in Tagalog.
Mahal kita.
There you go. You guys, there you go. That's authentic right there.
That's as authentic as you can get.
That's right. That's right. Man.
Well, I think like the best way to transition into our next topic, because we were talking about bullies, is actually the bullying of a dog. And I will show her. Hold on, just
oh, my baby.
There she is. This is before. That is when Dave had pretty much found her in a sort of sense. But Dave, did you want to talk about your relationship with, her history, really, how she came into your life, and
someone sent that to me on Instagram, and it because it was here in Tampa where I live, and it killed me, like seeing this dog. They found her like eating garbage in a graveyard. Somebody, I don't know how. Nobody really knows how she got loose or if she was dumped off. But when they found her, she still had a chain around her neck. And she had been tethered for so long with this chain around her neck that it actually ate into her skin. It was embedded in her skin. Her skin had like disintegrated around her whole neck, and this chain was embedded in her skin. So they had to stitch her whole neck up and surgically remove this chain from her neck. And so anyway, I saw, and it made me so sick that I offered a reward for this person. And I was in touch with the Humane Society, and I had been looking for a dog for probably a year or so, because I have 3 dogs and I only had 2, and I knew I had room for another. So I was looking for an older dog that would fit into my, fit into the pack a little more. I was a little concerned about having a dog that was too young because she's 3 months. But anyway, I just kind of fell in love with her. It's like seeing the pictures of her, and so I reached out and asked if she was available for adoption. They said she was, so I just said, I'll take her. If you guys will give her to me, I'll take her. So I went as soon as I got home for my trip. I was overseas. I went and got her. So now she's here. She's over here sleeping somewhere.
You mean she's not chewing on your shoes?
She's done that too. I've never seen a dog piss so much in my life. This dog I swear to God, this dog pisses like every 10 seconds. But she's not, it's not pooping everywhere. She's pooped a few times in the house, but it's been solid, so I'm happy about that. But I swear to God, I'm like stepping in a puddle of piss like every 10 minutes. Like she'll go out and pee 3 times and come in and pee 4 more times. And it's not a condition. We were concerned about that. Like, why does this dog pee so much? And she's a peer. But we think she's gonna be jacked too. She's gonna be like 3.5 months. She's starting to get little muscles in her shoulder. She's like so cute. Yeah.
And you have 2 already, and those are males?
I have 2. No, I have a male and a female, and they're adopted as well, and they're litter mates. But they're about 8 years old now. I got them when they were 6.
And then now Penny, which I'm going to assume is a female too.
It's a female, yeah. And they get along great. She's getting smacked around a little bit, but just because they're bigger and they want to, like, they play with her. Like my older female the other day, she kind of swatted her, but she like swatted her, and Penny just like flattened out. So, but yeah, they've accepted her into the pack, and so it's like not been an issue at all. And that was my biggest concern.
So what happens when you're taping for a long time? Like, does someone watch them?
Well, this past trip, it's weird because things are different now because of COVID. We have to travel differently. We're kind of locked into sets, whereas before we could travel back and forth. So I wouldn't be gone. Typically I would go for 3 weeks and I would come home. I'd make sure that I got at least a couple days at home. I'd fly back. But now because we're locked on location, so I was gone for about 4 months. And I have an assistant. She stays here. I would prefer not to be away from them that long, but because I was out of the country, I didn't have a choice. So I go on my next film in Atlanta, and I'll just take them all with me. They'll just go with me. So we'll travel as a little family.
So what's right now? Dune is out in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And your godson Jarrell is like, wait, how is he? It's funny. He doesn't understand that you can play different movie characters.
Right.
That's on you playing Drax, and that's all you can play. So he's like, how did he change? How come his face is like that in Dune? How come he's not Gray Guy anymore?
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta see that dude, man. Have a conversation with him, fill him in. You guys gotta bring him.
He's grown up, man.
I know, I've seen pictures, man. It's been too long. You guys gotta bring him to Guardians. I'll be there for 6 months, man. You guys gotta come.
You'll be where?
In Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. But so Dune is coming out. I still have tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Friday is the season finale for C, who is starring Jason Momoa on Apple TV. That'll be a season finale. It's a hell of a season. And then going to do Guardians next week. And then I got a full slate of shit lined up for next week or next year. I'm going to be working for the next 3 years. So weird. I'm becoming like in demand in my 50s. It's so weird, man. I'm fighting to like keep my face together, like keep it tight. And
you have to go to the spa.
Yeah, I'm going to spa. I'm going to, getting Botox in my forehead. And
your hairline looks great, though.
No, well, I got to shave it off this week. Now I'll be gone.
Yeah, that's why we have to do it today because he was saying like I.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? And this is how honest Dave is. It's funny because I tell him, hey man, you want to talk about something? Is there any taboo and stuff like that? He was like, shit, whatever you want to talk about. You can even talk about, if you want to talk about my butthole, we'll talk about my butthole. I'm like, all right, let's talk about your butthole. So we're talking about your butthole right now.
I was like, dude, but my butthole's getting gray hairs. He said, let's count the wrinkles in your butthole.
1 ring, 2 ring. Oh yeah, there's a lot of wrinkles in there.
But I mean, that's just the way I'm an open book. I've got some things that, are a little embarrassing to talk about sometimes, but I don't know, man. You make mistakes in life and you kind of own them and you get past them. So if you live an honest life and wear your heart on your sleeve and like kind of put everything out there, then that doesn't leave anybody any ammunition. They don't go, there's nothing they can go looking for, to use against you, because you can freely talk about whatever. Don't be embarrassed about your life. You make mistakes, you get past them. You own them, you get past them. So that's it, man. I'm an open book. Like, we can talk about anything from Guardians to my butthole. I'm good.
See, and that's the beauty, of it, right? Because I've been reaching out to the Filipinos and stuff like that in my channel, and how much, how important it is. And I'm showing them how important it is to be honest about things. Never look behind your shoulder, behind your back, knowing that you have presented yourself through the utmost of who you are, hiding in it. And I think that people are starting to see who I am and who you are, and the importance of honesty and just being real, and I think that's very important, because a lot of people don't understand, or they hold back that particular emotion or that particular personality. And I think it's a great personality to have, and that's why me and you get along, because we're like, whatever,
This is me.
I think, it's true though. It's just having integrity. Like, everybody makes mistakes, but it's the way people deal with mistakes that's what separates people. Because some people don't, they can't own their mistakes, and they are in denial about their mistakes, or they lie about their mistakes. And that, one lie always, there's a domino effect with lies. Lies lead to other lies, which lead to other lies, which lead to so many lies that you can't remember your fucking lies. So if you're living a lie, there's always lies you have to remember. And it's just not worth it, man. Just, tell the truth, be an honest person, and own your mistakes. That's what integrity is. If you fuck up, say you fucked up, apologize, try to make amends, but live your life with some integrity.
Exactly. Amen. Okay, so we'll take a couple fan questions, because these guys are bugging me on the side. Why does okay, how about this one? What can you say about CM Punk's return?
Well, I haven't seen any of it, but I don't know. I wasn't completely shocked that he returned to wrestling, but I was a little bit surprised, because I think CM Punk has got a huge future in acting. I think he's talented as fuck. Not only is he talented, but he's just a good dude. Like, he's got such a good heart, and he's one. You don't want to talk about being honest. Like, this dude does not give a fuck. Like, he is just an honest person, and you love him. You love him for who he is, or you can move on. He doesn't care. He lives his life in an honest way, and I love that about him. But I think wrestling, he's only back. He's not back because he needs to be back. I think he's back for the right reasons, and the reasons are because he loves it. And I think that's what's cool about this guy. This is the reason I love Punk so much, is because he does things because he loves them. He fought because he loved it. I don't think he ever saw himself as a world champion, but he loves fighting, and they offered him an opportunity, and that guy doesn't pass up on opportunities. And so anybody who is offered an opportunity and passes up on it is a fool. So if you are going to pass up on an opportunity, then that's on you. But if people want to dog you for taking an opportunity, talk bad about you, talk shit about you for taking an opportunity, then fuck them. Because if you're offered an opportunity, take it, or you're an idiot. So this is why I love him, because he's not wasting his life. He doesn't apologize for his life or who he is or what he loves or doing what he loves. And again, this is a dude with just a ton of integrity, and he doesn't need to wrestle. He does it because he loves it, and I love that about him.
There you go. Hey, Byron, Mr. Dave, who is your favorite WWE superstar back in the 80s?
Oh man, I used to love this dude called the Warlord. Like, I was obsessed with the Warlord. I didn't want to see anybody else but the Warlord. He was like the most immense human being I had ever seen. He was like this big superhero looking dude. He was so large, and I didn't know wrestling technique or anything back then. I didn't know who was good. All I knew was this dude looked like a killer. He was vicious, and he was just the biggest human being I'd ever seen walk out of that, that curtain. So it was the Warlord. Well,
they're wondering what your next tattoo is. Well, is there anywhere that's not?
Is there any more room?
No, that's not that much room.
in the butthole. In the butthole.
I'm gonna get a tattoo on my butthole. I'm gonna get a tattoo on my butthole of a butthole.
There you go, guys. A butthole to the butthole. That's it.
I might even just get the word butthole. That'd be my next tattoo. I'm actually gonna get more dog tattoos, and I'm saving a spot on my right thigh. Me and a buddy of mine named Tony are gonna get these matching kind of Bushido samurai tattoos. They're pretty cool.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got a little bit of space here and there, but not much. I'm also opening a tattoo shop in Tampa. I'm opening a
I
shop.
heard about that. Plug that. Tell people where it is.
It's it'll be on it's on Kennedy Street next across from the University of Tampa, and in Tampa. But it's so we're doing the build out right now, and we're looking for artists. So if you guys know any artists who need like homes, that's a problem. Is most really great artists they're already locked in at a studio, or they're just on their own. So we're trying to find like real undiscovered talent. So if they're looking for a home, man, we want them, but we're looking. We got about 7 spots we're trying to fill.
And when is it opening?
We're going to shoot for late January. We've got like a 3-month free build out, and we'd like to be up and running before our rent-free period is done, so we can just start generating some money. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I've wanted to do this in a barbershop forever, and finally a buddy of mine said, "Let's just do it, man. Like, let's stop talking about it. Let's just do it." So we lease a spot in here, and we're off to the races, man.
Hope Earl Iscarelia has a question. Hey, Dave, what is your first tattoo and when?
It's man, it might have been, it's like the early 90s or late 80s. It might have been late 80s, but it was it's always embarrassing to talk about. It was on my butt.
Are you serious?
We're back on the butthole.
It was on my butt, and I was still trying. I was trying to hide it, and I don't want my dad at that point to see that I had a tattoo, and I just it was really this awful tattoo. I hate speaking about it. I got it covered in like 2006, 2007, but I swear to God, at the time I just thought it was real tough, and I got a tattoo, and it was on my butt, and I regret it. Like a week later, I was like, man, why did I do that? So yeah. Next question.
Nonito has no tattoos.
Well, my mom, I wanted to put a tattoo, but my mom has always said, I don't want you to have the tattoo. So I don't have any tattoos because of that.
Oh, you're a good dude, man. Mama would whip that ass. Well, my mom had tattoos, so she was my influence. I grew up.
How's your mom?
Yeah, how's your mom?
No, she's real good. She's real good. She's still in San Francisco. She's helping out homeless people and people with drug addictions. That's her mission in life. But my mom's all sleeved up. She's got a full leg tattoo. My mom got tattoos all over.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a little different.
She's doing good.
I had a little different upbringing. Yeah, she's great.
Oh my God, Glenn Rios wants to know how many times you visited the Philippines.
God, man, maybe 4 or 5 times, I think.
When was the last time?
Oh shoot, God, not in a long time. Was it after? Yeah, no, it was probably 2009ish, maybe 2010. I don't think I've been there for a film, but I used to go there a lot for wrestling. When I was wrestling, I went there a lot. So
would you do something for a film? Because Nonito had this. Who was it? Was it you that there was like this script that we were working on, and Dave was going to be the bad guy, or was Dave the good guy?
Why I always have to be the bad guy? Actually, I like being the bad guy.
Why can't I be a bad guy?
Yeah.
I'm the little guy, mastermind, my mastermind,
Mastermind.
You should just be the bad guy in the back that's like,
yeah.
I can see you do that.
You can?
Yeah, with like.
But I want to cry like Dave, I just want to start crying too,
You already did a movie where you cried.
My lips quivering.
I was supposed to go there a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago. There was like a big international like car show or something that was going to be there. And I can't remember what happened, but it got canceled for some reason. But I always lobby to go there for like films and whatever. I love going there.
You would probably, if you were to model on the cars, you would probably crush the car.
No, you're probably bigger than the car.
I've done that before though. It's always a good time. I did it for Bond. They sent me out with like Range Rover and the Jags, because I drove a Jag in the car and film.
Nice. Byron's asking who inspired you to come in, to become a WWE superstar.
Poverty inspired me.
Doesn't poverty inspire a lot of stuff, you know?
So I wasn't inspired to go into wrestling. I was just broke. I mean, there's no glamorous answer. I was broke as hell, and I just had nothing. I didn't have, I had no education. I dropped out of high school. I was bouncing. I didn't have any skills, but I was big, and I was very athletically, capable. So I gave it a shot, and I went into this tryout. They were having open tryouts where you had to go and you had to pay like a few $100s to try out. And I went to it and paid my little $300. And I swear to God, like that same day, they just ran me into the ground, took my $300 and said, "Get out, you'll never be a pro wrestler." And so I was sat on that for about a week, and I was just pissed off. And then I just started calling people. And then I called, my buddy, Jonathan, you guys know Jonathan. He called WWE for me and said, "Are you guys having tryouts?" He said, "No, but we can, recommend a camp for you to go and train at." So I went and started training with Afa, the Wild Samoan, and he trained me for about a year before I got a contract with the WWE. So basically, fuck that guy who told me I'd never make it.
Exactly, right?
In short.
Yeah,
look at me now.
That's right. Look at me now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, one more fan question, and then you guys are playing 3 rounds. Cheryl's asking, what is your favorite Filipino dish?
Oh, it's easily adobo. I'm so generic.
So Rach came up with this game.
Yes.
Okay.
You slap your thigh twice and clap twice.
Okay.
All right. So that's what we're gonna do in rhythm.
And then I give you a topic, and you guys got to go back and forth, and you can't break.
We got to keep clapping and talking.
Yep. I know. I'm so bad at this stuff.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. He's gonna start.
Go ahead.
Topic is Marvel characters.
What are we talking about?
Do you have to
Name
name
them?
Marvel characters until one of you stops?
Oh, gotcha. Hulk,
Drax.
Doctor Strange,
Iron Man.
Star-Lord,
Wolverine.
Mantis,
Spider-Man.
His entire cast.
Venom.
Carnage.
Come on. I'm already losing. I should know these. I should be better at this.
Magneto.
Oh, you're all the X-Men. Fucker.
That's right.
All right. What we got left? You already said Iron Man, right? Iron Man again.
Okay, he wins round 1.
All right, round 2.
Round 2.
Okay.
DC characters.
Oh, Batman.
Superman.
Batman.
It's really hard when you're clapping, right?
It is hard.
You know, I mess that shit up all the time too. So.
Oh man.
Okay, one more round.
Okay.
What?
You pick one.
Yeah, you pick one.
Oh man. Ready? Wrestlers. Yeah.
Shit. What was that?
Wrestlers.
Okay.
Undertaker.
The Rock.
Triple H.
Dave Bautista.
Rey Mysterio.
Just Hulk Hogan.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that's it. Macho Man.
Who?
Macho Man. Randy Savage.
Macho Man?
That's right. Ooh, yeah.
Macho Man. Junkyard Dog.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Ric Flair. Nature Boy.
$1 Billion Man.
Shawn Michaels.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Ron Simmons.
Jake the Snake.
MVP.
The Iron Giant.
Kane.
The Big Show.
Charlotte.
Undertaker.
I already said the Undertaker.
Oh, you did? I didn't see that.
Undertaker.
Owen Hart. Owen Hart.
Owen Hart. The Hart Foundation. Does that count? Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
What's this? Damn, I just lost my train of thoughts here. Yeah, you got me.
We did good in that though. We crushed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were
I
going to
was
do
gonna
that
say
well.
Doink the Clown.
Doink.
Did you say Hardy Boys?
No, I just blanked out. I
Stacy
just blanked
Keebler.
out. I blanked out. It just just blanked out. I lost my train of thought when I said Undertaker and I didn't hear him say Undertaker. So I'm like,
TJ.
Yeah, TJ.
TJ Perkins.
Yeah, I know. But I know that. I have a lot of things in my head, but I'm just like, can't think.
Oh my God.
Man.
Thank you so much for coming. We don't want to take too much of your time, and we appreciate you coming and playing the 3 rounds game with Nonito. What do you want to plug? Your Twitter, Instagram, like stage is yours.
No, no, I don't want to plug me. That's all. I want to plug you guys.
Plug your butt.
Plug your butt. Your butthole.
Butt plug. All right, I love you guys. Thank you.
I love you, brother. I love you. Thank you, man. Appreciate the time. Just having this conversation, just seeing each other, man. I thank you.
Man. Salamat po.
Yeah. We'll see
Salamat
each
po.
other soon. Thank
you, brother. Love you, man.
I'm Jarrell. And I am Logan. Thank you for watching this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. KO! Jinx, got ya.
Nonito the Nail.